Hey everyone, sorry about that. I hope y'all can all get on. I'm going to give y'all about 5 minutes to get on. Make sure that you have a pen or pencil and paper. We're going to take probably a few notes on the blood exposure bag, and then make sure you have your Monday, May 4th assignment. We're going to go over the matching. So make sure you have both of those things. And also, I would suggest having your CIB if you already printed it out, just so that way you can write a few notes maybe on it, or you have it in front of you so that way you know what the proctors are looking for. But we're going to go over all of that as well. It's just sometimes people like to see it in writing. So I'm going to give y'all a few minutes to clock in. Sorry about that. Oh, thank you, Annalicia. Yeah, it's about to rain. I feel like it's been like such a rainy season, but rain's always good because it brings flowers and it helps my garden. And it helps my garden and everything else. So yeah. I make sure for those of you who just logged in to have your Monday, May 4th assignment, pen and paper, and you can have your CIB out. I would suggest that, so that way you can write a few notes. Might be easier for you. What we're going to do first is we're going to go over the matching terminology on that assignment, and then we're going to go into the blood exposure kit. So that is what is on our agenda today. So today's, you do not have to turn anything in for today. These notes are strictly only for you. So it's state board, so it's pretty important notes. And also it's only participation. So participate with your comments that are pertaining to the lesson, any questions pertaining to the lesson. So it's just participation. So I want to see all of your comments in here today. Make sure they're pertaining to the lesson, though. Okay. So I'm going to give y'all like 2 more minutes to clock in, get your assignments nice and ready for you, and then we will start. So with the assignment, I just want y'all to comment what you got. It doesn't matter if it's correct or not. That's why we're all going to learn. I just want to see y'all's participation a lot. So let's get started, since I see that no one is commenting that they're clocking in anymore. So number 1 on the Monday, May 4th assignment, a specific target, a benchmark of achievement that can be attained within a specific time frame. So what is number 1, the blank to number 1? I'm going to give you you guys a few seconds to comment. There we go. It's okay if the answer is not correct. It's completely okay. It's why we're all here. We're all learning. So you guys are correct. Number 1 is a goal. A goal is a specific target, a benchmark of achievement that can be attained within a specific time frame. Everyone needs to set goals. Goals are a good thing to make sure that you get stuff done, and also so that you have achievements. Okay, number 2. Blank, also known as Pedro's principle, a specific principle that describes a constant universe pattern of distributing. So number 2, I'm going to write it down for you guys. Very good. Number 2 is 80-20 rule. Good job, you guys. And if you don't have the right answer, just make sure you just fill in that blank. Make sure you just correct it. Like I said, there's nothing to turn in this slide. It's just participation. Number 3, blank, money that comes in which you earn or receive. Number 3. And sorry, we're going a little fast. I know we are, but I just need enough time to do the state board stuff. And I just wanted to give a shout out. I heard we have a new student. Welcome, Demaya, to Baldwin Beauty Schools. Yes, number 3 is income. Good job. Number 4, blank the total amount of money you earned before deductions are taken out. So that's a huge, huge, huge one. Make sure that whenever you're reading questions like this, that you are looking at, before deductions are taken out, after deductions are taken out, because state board questions will get you with those tricky little answers like that. So you guys are correct. Number 4 is gross income. Good job, you guys. All right, we are on to number 5. Number 5 is the amount of money in your paycheck after deductions have been taken out, also called spendable income. I always get in trouble with this because whenever I get paid, I'm like, oh my gosh, yay. Whenever we all get paid, we're like, yay. And then it's like, oh yeah, the number below that is the number I can actually spend. You guys are correct. It is the net income. Make sure that this is called your spendable balance. This is actually what you can spend, not your gross income. So let's say you make $100,000 a year and taxes take about, $20,000 out of that. So you're making about $80,000 a year. So your gross income is going to be the 100. Your net income is going to be the 80 you can actually spend. So number 6, money that leaves you, which you spend or pay out. So what is number 6? Good job, guys. Good job. So number 6 is expense. A lot of us have expenses. Grocery store, gas bill, all of those are expenses. So everyone hates expenses. The car payment, all that. Okay, so number 7, things you should spend your money on that are not essential. That's mostly what I spend my money on. Number 7. So it is discretionary expense. You guys are correct. These expenses are the expenses that are like makeup, shoe. You do need shoes, but do you really need like the $100 Versace, like not even $100 Versace shoes are like $500. Do you really need those Louis Vuitton heels, So these are these type of expenses. They're not really essential like food, water, and shelter. Technically a car is on this expense because technically we have legs we can walk. So yeah. Number 8, a systematic plan for the estimated income and the expenditure of money over a specific period of time. Number 8. This is also something I'm very bad at. Yes, perfect. Number 8 is budget. Good job. If you need a good budgeting app, I use this little app called, it has a little smiley envelope. It's for budgeting, which I just went blank on it. But they have a lot of really good apps to help you. So all you do is put in your income, put how much you're going to pay on rent, put how much you're going to pay in groceries, and then it'll give you like how much out of that do you want to spend on other things and how much do you want to not spend and put into your savings. So that's a budget. A budget is I'm going to spend this much on groceries, this much on rent, and this much on and whatever. It'll help your income go further. Yes. Budgeting is very, very good. Oh, it's called Good Budget. Good Budget app. There we go. Has like a little smiling. It has a little smiling envelope. I love it. Number 9. In your budget, the difference between what you planned and what actually happened. So in my budget, I told them that I'm only going to spend this much on groceries, this much on gas. Oh no, my tire got a flat. My budget is kind of a little off because I had to go pay to get a new tire. You know, see how that kind of works? So you guys are correct. Number 9 is variance. Number 9. So that's what happens whenever the budget is just, you know, surprises happen. You know, my AC went out, my heater went out. So those are kind of like surprises in the budget. Allison said a very good thing. You should have a savings for emergencies like that. Yes, you should have a savings, and then what I like to call an emergency savings. So car goes flat, stove stops working, any type of little emergencies, dishwasher goes out, washer and dryer, you know, expensive things can go out. So yes, Allison. Number 10, the result of making time for all 3 important facets of your life, personal, professional, and social. So you guys are correct. Balance. You have to have balance within these 3, within the 3 facets of your life: your professional, your personal, and your social. Professional is, of course, work. Personal, your personal life, and then your social life. So you need to have balance with all 3, because if you don't, you're going to be unhappy. Because you're going to be unhappy if you focus more on your personal life and your professional life and not give anything to your social life. So, you know, it takes, and it's a really hard to balance. So it takes a huge balancing act to be able to balance all 3. Number 11, rank the order of importance. I'll give you a few seconds to comment. Yes, you guys are correct. Number 11 is prioritize. Prioritize, which bill should I pay first? The electric bill or my credit card, you know, or that makeup I bought at Sephora that's all over my credit card. You know, you got to prioritize. You got to prioritize, do I need this Gucci purse or do I need to pay the electric bill? I think you should pay the electric bill, but some people's priorities are different. And number 12, an exhilarating or fulfilling reaction to positive and motivating experiences that are non-threatening to your existence. It's also called eustress. So eustress is not a bad type of stress. It's actually good stress that we need in our life, because actually we need stress in our lives, but whenever it becomes too much, that's whenever stress becomes a bad thing in our life. Yes, you guys are correct. Number 12 is positive stress. So like I said, we need at least a little stress in our lives, but not too much where we're having panic attacks and we're unhappy. So number 13, last but not least, number 13, also called distress, an anxious or fearful reaction on physically or emotionally threatening experiences. You guys are correct. Number 13 is negative stress. So these are the bad stressors to have in your life. So try not to have as much negative stress in your life, but I know it is very, very hard. So it's okay. Anytime you need it, just take a deep breath. All right, perfect. So now that we are done with that little worksheet, now that we are done with the matching part of that worksheet, we're going to go over State Board. Now we're going to go over State Board. So I would get your CIB if you need anything. But first of all, I would get pen and paper just in case you need to write any notes down that you need. We're going to go over the blood exposure incident. So make sure to get that out. So first thing is the difference between the blood exposure incident and the blood spill bag. So you're going to have two bags that are identical to each other. The only difference is one is going to say blood exposure service and the other one is going to say blood spill bag. So that is going to be the only difference between these two bags. The blood exposure service is the service that you use in the State Board. So this is going to be the one where you put the Band-Aid on the mannequin's neck or arm or wrist. So that is the difference. The blood exposure spill bag is the one that goes on your station and stays on your station for all of State Board, just in case you cut yourself during the haircut, you accidentally nip your fingers with the fingernail clippers. So this is just in case you actually have a real emergency. And if, let's say that you do, you're going to follow the same procedures as you would on the blood exposure service. So that is exactly what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is talk a little bit about the State Board. So the procedure before the blood exposure service is the monomer polymer over tip service. So you're going to be doing the acrylic service first, Cosmos. The service after is going to be the eyelash strip application. You're going to have 12 minutes to put a Band-Aid on a mannequin. So plenty of time, plenty. It is worth 12 points. And the proctors are going to be looking, let's go over what the proctors are going to be looking at. If you want to write this down, you can. If you have your CIB, I would suggest getting it out, and we're going to go over it together. So our CIB says the blood exposure incident, the time allowed is 12 minutes. The procedure criteria, there are 6 procedure criterias. So number 1 is that you wear gloves. Easy enough, right? Don't forget to wear gloves. Number 2, apply pressure to stimulated cut. Pretty simple. Number 3, clean stimulated cut. Number 4, bandage stimulated cut. Number 5, properly dispose of used materials. And number 6, sanitize/clean hands. So this is the procedure that the proctors are looking for that you are doing. Those exact steps, that is what they're looking for and grading you on. If you do not wear gloves, that is -1 point. If you do not clean or put pressure on the stimulated cut, that's -2. So make sure that you're doing these little steps because these are what the proctors are looking for. Now let's look at the safety criteria. proctors are looking for. So these are, it's another set of 6. So this whole thing, you get 12 points. That's a lot of points. So number 1, the safety criteria the proctors are looking for. Properly dispose of waste material. So does it go in the trash can or does it go in the hazard bag? That's what they're looking for. Number 2, ensure workstation area remains sanitary. That means did you EPA before before taking everything out? Are you wearing gloves? Are you double dipping? Anything like that. Number 3, replace contaminated items. You don't really have to replace them. What they mean is if you have a lid, replace the lid on top of your thing. Like if I was to use this marker on state board, the first thing I would have to do is put a dot on my wrist and then replace the lid back on it and set it down if my hands are clean. So it just means replace any lids that you're using. And number 5, sorry. Sorry. Number 5, kit remains sanitary. That means if you go into your bag, that you close the bag and that you put it away. Or if you, or make sure that your hands are sanitary, that you use hand sanitizer before you went into the kit. So, and number 6 is avoid cross-contamination. That means if I touch the cut, I can't put my hand back into my nice sanitized bag. No, that's cross-contamination. That means everything's cross-contaminated with the blood on my gloves. So that is the 12 points they're looking for. So make sure that you are doing that. So that's why CIB is super, super important. I know Wendy talked about it this morning. If you need it, you can write it down if you don't have a printer. If not, you can always print it out. I know it's super, super long, but it really helps because it explains exactly what they're looking for. And also it explains like how to register for the written and everything. So for those of you who are new students, it really, really will benefit you to print this out. Okay. So that is the 12 things the proctors are looking for. Now let's go over our blood exposure incident. Remember, 2 different bags, same exact bag. All the contents are the same, except one says blood exposure service. This is the one you're doing on the mannequin. Excuse me. And one says blood spill bag. This is going to be the one on your station. You will never take this off your station until the very, 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 very end. Once you are done. If you didn't cut yourself during the haircut, good for you. You don't have to use it. So, okay. So let's go over the blood exposure service. Now, as you can see mine, we're going to go through it as it's obviously labeled blood exposure service. I have a little Band-Aid in here and make sure that it is completely sealed. I know this one isn't because I accidentally ripped it, but make sure that you have a completely sealed Band-Aid. It does not have to be labeled Band-Aid. You just need a Band-Aid. I have 1 pair of gloves. If you're a person that drops everything, I would suggest bringing in another pair of gloves for this. Number 4, the other thing in your blood exposure service is your antiseptic. You can either do a spray or you can do like a little toner bottle and put it on a little cotton pad. I did spray because it's just easier because I can be away from the cut and spray instead of accidentally cross-contaminating. So that's why I like the spray. It can be water. It just has to be labeled antiseptic. I have also 3 cotton pads. I have 3 little cotton pads, sorry. have 3 little cotton rounds, one for applying pressure, one, I do it to kind of wipe up the antiseptic, and then I do one just in case I dropped any. And then I have 2 foldable sandwich bags. As you can see, they are the little fold over ones. If you want to use the Ziplocs, that's fine, honestly. Just make sure you have 2. The other thing you need is Biohazard. Biohazard stickers, 2 of them, one for the front, one for the back. So that way, if you set it down either way, they know it's your biohazard. What I did to kind of save me some time and some money, I just printed it out off the internet, and then I cut it out, and I didn't have any colored ink, so I just colored it red with a crayon. But hey, it works. It said biohazard, it's red or orange. Perfect. So if you want to do that, you completely can. If not, you can buy I think it's like 10 of them for $6 on Amazon. You can buy the actual biohazard stickers. If you don't want to, you can just print them out like I did. So remember, guys, one of these is for your biohazard materials. That means anything that touched with blood, and then your other one is for whenever you put your biohazard in, it has to be double bagged. So put it in here and then close it, and you can throw it away. So that is what is in our bag. Yes, Jazzy, one of them is a blank Ziploc. The other one has the biohazard stickers on both the front and the back. If you don't want to use biohazard stickers, that is completely okay. I just taped paper biohazard labels onto my bag, and you can see they work. As long as they say biohazard and is red or orange, you're good to go. These are red. So now let's go over the contents one more time, so that way, and I'm going to go a little slower, so that way, and I'm going to write it on the board, so that way if you want to write it with me, you can. Okay, so the contents. The first thing we need is 2 small, foldable, closed top, sandwich bags. I am sorry, my handwriting is terrible on this. Okay, so the first little content, we are going to need 2 small foldable closed top sandwich bags. You can have them be little Ziploc bags. You can have them be as whatever you want, as long as you have 2 of them. One has biohazard sticker on the front and back, and one is clear. You're totally fine. So just 2 sandwich bags. Our next one is going to be 1 pair of gloves. Now, guys, remember whenever we're writing this, that this is not exactly what you personally need. Remember, I said you can always pack some more extra stuff just in case you're a person that drops things. If you're very flimsy, you know. So if you want to pack more than 1 pair of gloves, that's completely okay. This is the bare minimum of what you need. So you need, the second item is, oh, sorry, this is the second item, is another pair of gloves. Like I said, if you need more, you can use more. You just need at least 1 pair of gloves. The other thing you need antiseptic spray. You need your antiseptic spray. It can be water, and yes, you can use an antiseptic wipe, but like I said, for state board, a lot of you are going to be nervous and you might accidentally cross-contaminate. It's so easy just to take off the lid, spray, put the lid back on, put this down. How easy is that instead of ripping it open, you know, dealing with the trash? So You just have to have antiseptic spray, labeled antiseptic spray, and it can be water. So, like I suggest, that's a little spray bottle. It's labeled antiseptic, and it's just water. And make sure that your labels are kind of bright, that you write big with a thick marker, so that way they can really, really see it. That's why I put like a colored notepad, so that way you can tell it was labeled. And I wrote really, really, really bold, so that way you could also see the label as well. So antiseptic spray. The other thing you need is Band-Aids. Like I said, if you're one of those people, remember, you're gonna have gloves. If you don't deal with Band-Aids a lot and you're gonna be like this the entire time, it's gonna be very, very hard for you. So make sure you pack a couple, because you might accidentally drop it, and then, then what happens? So pack a few just in case. So you need Band-Aids. I would suggest just the normal size Band-Aids. They can be any color. They can be waterproof, latex, whatever. I would just get a cheap Band-Aid, honestly. The next item you need is a few. They can either be 4x4s or cotton pleats. Or cotton pleats, or AKA cotton rounds. So a few 4x4s and cotton pleats. Like I said, the reason why I'm not putting a huge number on this is because this is going to pertain to you on this. I put in 3, but I didn't count myself. I gave myself 1 to drop and then 2 to use. So just for this. And this is all the contents for 1 bag. Remember, you have to have 2 of these, 1 for blood spill, 1 for blood exposure. So you're going to need to probably double these, just to let you know. This is just for 1 bag. Kimberly, this blood exposure incident is the same for Cosmos and Estes. The only difference is Cosmos, you're going to do your Band-Aid on the mannequin's neck. Nail techs, you're going to do this at the nail table, and then the Cosmos and Estes are going to be on the workstation. The nail tech students, you're going to do it on the mannequin's hand, like wrist up here. The Cosmos and Estes, y'all are going to be doing it on your mannequin's neck right here. So that's the only difference right now. Everything else is the same. Okay, so our next item that we need on one of our bags is 2 biohazard stickers. So you're going to need 2 biohazard stickers. Like I said, I just printed mine out, and then I just taped them onto the bag. You don't need to go spend a lot of money. I mean, that was free. I mean, if you're not counting the ink and the paper, it was free. So you need biohazard stickers. I just Googled biohazard sticker and printed it out. So easy. You can do it from home. The next thing we need is 1 quart size bag. You need 1 quart size bag. This is going to be your quart size bag. This is going to hold all of your materials. If you're packing for both of them, you need 2 quart size bags, 1 for your blood exposure service bag and the other one for your blood spill bag. So remember, this is all the materials I'm giving you is for 1 bag only. So this is going to be your quart size bag to hold all your materials in. And the last thing you will need is additional paper towels. So just going to need additional paper towels. Remember, guys, you can't have a roll on your station. You can't have a whole roll. That's not sanitary. So if I were you, what I would do to get the most points as possible and to be the most sanitary is just pack a few little paper towels in each procedure bag. So I would make sure to pack a few little extra paper towels. These paper towels are for being able to wipe your station off with EPA in the beginning and be able to wipe your station off with EPA at the end. That is what these paper towels are for. So do not forget the paper towels. So can anyone tell me what will be on their station before this? Anything that's the materials that stay on your station forever? I know we mentioned one, which is the blood spill bag. Can anyone tell me the other items that stay on your station no matter what? I know y'all know these. What stays on your station no matter what? What items? Yes, Brenna. Your blood spill bag, your EPA, your hand sanitizer. Yes, good job, good job. Your trash can, remember, your little trash bag, it kind of stays on your station. It hangs, but it's still on your station. So good job, guys. Hand sanitizer, EPA, your blood spill bag. Perfect. Good job. Yes. Okay, so make sure that we're going to now go over the procedure. We're going to go over the procedure of it. I'm just going to read them slowly. And if you really want to write them down, you can always go back and rewatch the video to be able to write them down. Oh, yes. Tabitha also said your mannequin clamp. Yes, your mannequin clamp and your stand always stays on your station. So yes, good job. So your first step is to EPA your hands without touching the pump. For those of you who are newer, you are not allowed to touch the pump. I wish I had some hand sanitizer. But if this was the pump right here, I'm not allowed to go like this. I have to use two hands, pump with this hand, and leave enough room for the sanitizer to go on the station. Your second procedure is going to be EPA your work surface, toss all your paper in the trash and re-EPA everything. So these, the extra paper towels in your blood exposure kit, that's what you are going to use to EPA your station. Remember, EPA is already on your station. After that, once you're done EPAing, you throw all of your paper towels in the trash and you re-sanitize. The next procedure is to ply gloves. Okay, that's a pretty easy procedure. Number 4, apply pressure to the pretend wound with the cotton pledges. Remember, Cosmos Estes neck, nail techs, I would suggest you can do finger, but I would suggest the wrist just because you're not going to be working with it as much. So apply pressure to the pretend wound with a cotton round pleated or 4x4. Remember, we kind of gave you can always do that. Number 5, procedure on number 5, clean wound using antiseptic spray and cotton. So like I said, if you have one of those that kind of go like this and you have to do that, one of those, you're going to have another cotton round to be able to put it on and then pat it off. Okay. So if you just have this little thing, you just squirt, and you're done. So step number 5 is clean the cut using antiseptic spray and cotton. Do not touch the antiseptic spray to the skin. So that means, can I go like this and spray it? No. Does that mean I can go like, oh, my lip fell off. Sorry. Can I go like this and dab it on there? No, I cannot. So make sure that it is a distance away and that the proctors can see that. So number 5, clean the cut using antiseptic and cotton. Do not touch the tip of the antiseptic to the skin or materials. So, and she's talking about materials. So if I did this, You can see that I'm touching it. That's a big no-no in state board. I have to do this and make sure there's space in between both of them, just like our hands whenever we're hand sanitizing. Okay. Number 6 is toss soiled cotton in biohazard bag. Remember, if we are going in a bag, remember, if we are using our biohazard bag, that we have to put everything in there and always close the lid. Always close it, okay? Number 7, while continuing to wear gloves, apply Band-Aid to the pretend wound. That's why we're saying Cosmos on the neck, because think about it. If you did it on the face, that would mess up with your facial for state board. So that's why we're saying neck, because it's the easiest place to not have it interfere with anything. So step number 7 is wear gloves and apply Band-Aid to the pretend wound. Number 8 is properly dispose of used materials, gloves, trash, Band-Aid materials in the biohazard bag, okay? So all of that is in the biohazard bag. Really quickly, I'm going to show you how to properly take off gloves so that way you guys know. With gloves, if you're packing your own kit, I would suggest, my glove just ripped. Sorry. I would suggest not, first off, I wouldn't wear your big engagement ring just because the gloves might rip. And second of all, I would not suggest powder gloves because the powder in the gloves mixes with the hand sanitizer and creates this white paste. And it's gross. Know from experience. So I have my gloves on. I know it's ripped. I'm sorry. I'm going to take my pinky, put it on the inside of my glove, just like this. Do you see how I have a good grip? Take my glove off. My hand is still clean because I didn't even do that. Kind of wad it up in my hand, okay? Take my other pinky. Make sure I'm only touching the inside of the glove. Remember, the inside was never touched by anything. So then, take my glove off. I can touch all of this because all this was the inner part of my hand. So we're good with that. And then we put it in the biohazard bag. That is how to properly take off gloves. So remember, everything goes in the biohazard bag that you used. Like we said, number 8 is properly disposed of used materials, as in the gloves, the trash, the Band-Aids, all in the biohazard material. The reason why we need the other one is to be able to throw away biohazard, it has to be double bagged. So we're going to put it in the other one. That is step number 9. Place biohazard bag into second foldable sandwich bag, close it, and place into large trash, into our big trash. Okay, anything that you have on your station, throw it into the big trash. Number 10 is sanitize your hands and EPA your workstation with your paper towel. So you can leave your paper towels on there and EPA it. And like one thing I will tell you about all of this is they will tell you directions to everything. Make sure that you are listening. They will say, this is the blood exposure service. You have 12 minutes to complete this service. If in the directions, they might tell you, we want to see the Band-Aid. In the directions, they might tell you, once you are completely done, cleaned up, raise your hand, and then we'll come check the Band-Aid. So you have to be listening to these directions. So that way you know, am I supposed to not clean up and raise my hand for them to look at the Band-Aid, or do I clean up everything, raise my hand, and look at the Band-Aid? You just have to listen to the directions at the beginning. A lot of places are different. So that is it. That is your procedure and the contents. Remember, on the contents, it's not your exact things. Remember, it is pretty much the basics that you need, okay? So if you need more gloves, because like you just saw, my gloves ripped. If you need more gloves, you can put more gloves in there. It's just a guideline, okay? Are there any questions? Any questions about this state board? Any questions about this state board? I guess since there are no questions, I will let you guys log off. I hope you kind of learned a little bit more about the blood exposure versus the blood spill bag. So perfect. So y'all can just do your final roll call. Remember, first name, last name, school, and time. Sorry, first name, last initial, school, and time. Sorry. So you can just put your first name and your last initial and then school and time. Sorry. Thank you guys so much for learning with me. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.